The school pickup line snaked its way through the parking lot like a slow-moving river. Cars inched forward, and my patience wore thin as I anticipated the moment I would reunite with Dustin and Sarah, my 13 and 14-year-old twins. The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows on the pavement, amplifying the sense of monotony in the routine. Finally reaching the front of the line, I caught sight of Dustin and Sarah, their backpacks slung over their shoulders, waiting by the school entrance. The car doors clicked open, and the usual teenage indifference greeted me. "Hey, Dad," Dustin mumbled, not bothering to look up from his phone. "Hi," Sarah chimed in, her eyes fixed on a distant point beyond the schoolyard. Navigating through the sea of parked cars, we found our way home. The conversation was sparse, filled with awkward silences, punctuated only by the occasional grunt from the back seat. As we stepped into the house, a sense of normalcy hung in the air, the kids diving straight into the refrigerator as if they hadn't eaten in days. "Take it easy, guys. Save room for dinner," I called out, setting my briefcase on the floor. I wandered into the living room, where Hannah, my wife, was curled up on the couch under a blanket. The warm afternoon outside didn't seem to affect the chill inside the room. "Hey, baby, what's going on?" I asked, glancing at her. "I don't feel very well," she replied, her voice muffled by the blanket. "Well, my stomach is doing somersaults, and I'm having problems," she added, her tone strained. "What do you think this is?" I inquired, concern furrowing my brow. "Must be some kind of flu," she said, her eyes still closed. "Why aren't you in bed then?" I asked, taking a step toward the bedroom. "I was, but I had an accident. Could you please change the sheets?" she admitted, her vulnerability hanging in the air. I grabbed a nose clip and some latex gloves from the garage, my mind racing to comprehend the sudden turn of events. Little did I know, this ordinary Wednesday afternoon would be the prelude to a series of challenges that would test the bonds of our family in ways I could never have imagined. Days blurred into weeks, and the cloud of uncertainty loomed over our lives. The mundane routine of school pickups and family dinners became punctuated by Hannah's undiagnosed illness. Doctor visits offered no solace, leaving us grappling with the mystery of her deteriorating health. One evening, as Hannah reclined on the couch with a weak smile, I couldn't help but voice my concerns. "Hannah, this has been going on for weeks. We need answers. What's happening to you?" She sighed, her eyes reflecting a mix of frustration and fear. "I don't know, John. The doctors can't figure it out. It's like my body is betraying me." As the weeks unfolded, Hannah's condition became a roller coaster of hope and despair. Moments of reprieve were overshadowed by debilitating relapses, and the toll on our family was palpable. The once lively household now carried the weight of unanswered questions and unspoken fears. In the midst of it all, our personal life suffered. Intimacy waned, replaced by a constant undercurrent of worry. One evening, as we sat in the dimly lit living room, I mustered the courage to address the elephant in the room. "Hannah, we can't keep avoiding this. We used to share everything. Now it feels like you're slipping away, and I don't know how to reach you." She looked at me, her eyes mirroring the pain that lingered beneath the surface. "I'm trying, John. But every day is a battle, and I'm not winning." As the weeks turned into months, Hannah's weight dropped, and her vibrant spirit dimmed. Adult diapers and baggy pants became a reluctant part of her daily routine. The strain on our marriage was undeniable, and the walls we had built around our struggles seemed insurmountable. One day, as I watched her stare into the distance, I couldn't hold back my frustration. "Hannah, we can't live like this. You're disappearing, and I don't know how much longer I can stand by and watch." She turned to me, tears welling in her eyes. "I didn't choose this, John. I didn't choose any of it." Little did we know, this journey into the unknown would test the limits of our love and resilience, challenging us to find strength in the face of adversity. The passing of time revealed the fault lines in our marriage, accentuated by the departure of our children into the world. Hannah's health struggles persisted, becoming a silent, unspoken wedge between us. Work became her refuge, and our attempts at intimacy were feeble echoes of a time long gone. One evening, the weight of the unspoken finally pushed me to confront the crumbling foundation of our marriage. Hannah, we can't keep pretending everything is fine. Our kids have grown up, and so have we. But we're not moving forward. We're stuck in this cycle of pain. She looked at me, weariness etched into the lines of her face. I know, John. But what can we do? This illness has taken everything from us. The realization struck like a hammer. Our marriage, once a pillar of strength, was now a mere shadow of its former self. The love that had weathered storms was now eroding under the weight of unanswered questions and unfulfilled promises. As the silence stretched between us, I made a decision that would alter the course of our lives. Hannah, I've filed for divorce. I can't keep waiting for something to change. Our children have grown, and it's time for both of us to find a way forward. Her stunned gaze met mine, and the room seemed to freeze in time. Did you cheat on me? She whispered, her voice cracking with a mix of disbelief and pain. No, Hannah. It's not about that. It's about us, or what's left of us, I replied, the weight of my decision heavy on my shoulders. The following days were a whirlwind of emotions, anger, confusion, and the painful acknowledgement that our marriage was irreparable. As the divorce proceedings unfolded, the truth about Hannah's past infidelity emerged, further fracturing the fragile bonds that remained. In a heated confrontation, I revealed the depth of my hurt. You knew this was coming, Hannah. The last 5 years have been a struggle, and I can't keep living in this limbo. Her eyes widened, and for a moment, the vulnerability I once cherished resurfaced. What have I done to deserve this? She cried. You stopped fighting, Hannah. You stopped fighting for us, I replied, the weight of our shared history hanging heavily in the air. The decision to end our marriage was both painful and liberating, a bittersweet acknowledgement that some wounds run too deep to heal. As our lives diverged, I couldn't help but wonder if, in seeking a way forward, we had lost something irreplaceable. In the aftermath of the divorce filing, resentment simmered within me. The pain of betrayal fueled a desire for revenge, leading me down a dark path. As the legal proceedings unfolded, the realization that Hannah would move on while I faced a bleak future gnawed at my conscience. In a moment of bitterness, I devised a plan to make her suffer. The discovery of her past affair and the pain it caused fueled my actions. I injected a concoction into her daily coffee, a calculated move to inflict suffering without crossing legal lines. One evening, as I monitored Hannah's health from the shadows, the weight of my actions pressed on my conscience. Do you ever feel guilty about what we're doing? I asked myself in a whispered reflection. The revenge plot unfolded in secret, with each dose causing Hannah discomfort but stopping short of a medical emergency. The satisfaction derived from her suffering, however, was tainted by the awareness that my actions bordered on the unethical. As the divorce proceedings continued, legal implications loomed over my calculated revenge. In a moment of introspection, I questioned the true cost of my actions. Is this revenge worth sacrificing my own moral compass? I mused, torn between satisfaction and the haunting truth that vengeance hadn't healed the wounds inflicted on my heart. The consequences of my revenge were both anticipated and unexpected. Legal troubles aside, the satisfaction of watching Hannah's life unravel clashed with the realization that I had become a perpetrator of pain, a role I never imagined for myself. As the finality of the divorce settled in, I faced the aftermath of my actions. In a moment of contemplation, I admitted to myself, I wanted her to suffer, but now I'm left with the consequences of my own choices. The path of revenge proved treacherous, and I grappled with the ethical boundaries I had crossed. The emotional toll weighed heavy on my shoulders as I faced the truth that revenge, no matter how justified it seemed, could never mend the broken pieces of a shattered heart. In the quiet moments that followed, I wondered if time would be the healing force I so desperately sought. As the dust settled and the echoes of a failed marriage lingered, I contemplated the future with a reluctant acknowledgement that the pursuit of revenge had left me with scars of my own.